welcome to episode number 123 of the franchise. I'm your host, Daniel Ehrenberg.
Hello, I'm your host, Hank Papali, and this is episode 116.
Boy, I wasn't even close this week.
That's okay. And this week we have a very special guest making his fourth record-breaking appearance.
Let's count him down. What were his previous appearances?
Before he chimes in, let's say Predator, and then Alien versus Predator.
Requiem.
Right. And Predators.
That's right.
And after that, he came on for Weekend at Bernie's.
Oh, that's right.
So
My
here
God,
he is.
He hasn't been on since Weekend at Bernie's?
Long time.
That's ridiculous. He's got to come on
ridiculous.
more. Weekend at Bernie's. God, what one of the best movies we've covered.
Yeah. So here he is, Aaron Farinelli.
Woo! Hey, guys.
That's
Hello,
right.
ladies and gentlemen.
Aaron Farinelli. He's a drummer. He's got facial hair. He has a wife. All of this is true.
It's true. You can look it up.
What band are you currently in?
I'm in a band right now called Whalefall.
Well,
We do post-rock stuff, so like instrumental, very cinematic, pretty rockin' stuff.
Yeah, it's got some atmosphere, gang. And he's what? Are you still doing VHS hits at all?
Actually, off and on. I haven't been quite on it too recently, but I did recently post a brand new one. So,
we'll talk about that
nice.
at the end.
Yeah.
more to come.
Yeah. All right.
Cool.
Now, we had a week to kill here.
Yeah.
All right, before our Harry Potter coverage begins, I'll say it right now, and so we wanted to do something kind of fun and silly. My idea was Chud, cannibalistic humanoid underground dwellers, and Chud too, Bud the Chud, and so it was Aaron's fine idea. Since we are starting our Harry Potter coverage, in the interest of being completists with Harry Potter, why not start the Harry Potter cover this week with Troll and Troll 2, featuring characters named Harry Potter and Harry Potter Jr.
That's correct.
That's right.
And what I like to believe is that this film is actually a prequel to, or no, not a prequel. All the Harry Potter stories are prequel to Troll. That's Harry Potter after he's left Hogwarts. He's like, you know what? I'm done with that. I'm just going to move to the U.S. Kind of like I'm going to get my lightning bolt scar like taken care of so nobody knows who I am. I'll just blend in with society. I'll raise a family and then bada boom, he's getting back into some shenanigans again.
So is it your contention that the Michael Moriarty Harry Potter in this film is the real Harry Potter of Lightning Scar and shit?
I would like to believe that.
All right. And now he's settled down with a wife. He's got 2 kids. He has a collection of LPs that he dances around to.
That's right.
And that's his life. He supports a very specific soccer club with his hat. and he makes friends with everyone in the building.
It's a good hat. I like that hat. It was one of my favorite characters.
Do you know the story behind that hat?
Nope.
This is a fun one.
I do, but you please tell, Dan.
Henry, at the beginning of this movie, Michael Moriarty, a.k.a. the first assistant DA from Law & Order, he is wearing a bucket hat, a very silly hat. And Michael Moriarty, in talking to director John Carl Buechler before filming started, said he doesn't understand his character, his motivations, and what makes him tick. Right. And so on the first day of filming, John Carl Buechler grabbed this hat off a crew member and gave it to Michael Moriarty. And Michael Moriarty was like, oh, so my character is just a crazy person? Just ridiculous? and that was it. No more conversation needed. He was ready to go.
That's how great Michael Moriarty is. He's
He's a pro, that Michael Moriarty.
His method.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's sort of like... an early version of Clark Gregg, I think.
Yeah.
It should be noted we've covered John Carl Buechler before.
Isn't that crazy? So we're talking about Troll. It's a very silly sort of pseudo-horror, pseudo-fantasy movie from 1986, the year of my birth. And so our director here is a fellow named John Carl Buechler. You might be asking yourself, who the fuck is that? But if you really pay attention to the show, we've covered this guy. He directed Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
An underrated Friday the 13th, in my contention.
And guys, get this. Either way, we were going to end up covering the writer, Ed Naha, because another film that's in his credit is Chud 2, Bud the Chud.
Is that right?
Oh, wow.
That's right. We would not escape Ed Naha.
Ed Naha is our writer here, a very prolific and some would say great writer who he wrote Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, all right? Chud 2, Bud the Chud, Troll, Dolls. He did not create Troll Dolls, but he wrote Troll and Dolls. And I will say he came up with the idea for Doll Man, so he is very prolific when it comes to dolls.
Okay.
All right. Ed Naha. There he is. So he wrote this movie. Buechler came up with the idea for this movie, but he was like working on other shit. I think he was like working on the Dungeon Master or something. He didn't have time to write it.
Right?
Yeah. Did you catch the Dungeon Master poster in Harry Potter Jr.'s bedroom?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
Good
when
stuff.
Henry. You normally don't like when directors put their own posters in movies.
For this one, it didn't bother me. I think it's appropriate. I mean, what else would you put in there? You know, and plus
Now, this was a real point of contention between you and I in Scream 2. All right.
Oh yeah. Okay. Right. What was in that one now?
There was a film class. Remember the one with Joshua Jackson and Sarah Michelle Gellar in it?
Vaguely.
And
yes.
there were posters for Wes Craven films in the classroom.
Oh yes. Right. Okay. That's a little different. That was a little more of a high-end franchise, a little high-end opportunity. This is a little,
So
little
it's
bit
okay.
different.
It's okay if the budget is under a certain threshold.
Is that right? Is that right?
Yeah, I think so because you don't have enough money to go out and buy.
I think you're a hypocrite. I'm calling you out.
Okay,
Ooh.
I'm all right with that.
You just got Dan slammed.
Damned.
Yeah,
Guys, this movie was released January. God, what a January release this movie is. January 17th, 1986. My mother was pregnant with me. All right.
I was 7.
I imagine my parents had unprotected sex about 2 months before Troll came out and created me. They raw
If only you were born 2 months later, we would have known what sparked it.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, Aaron, you would have been about what, 2?
It would have been 2. I would have been causing wreaking havoc with my terrible 2s.
Now, Henry, what was your major at the time this movie came out?
Graphic design.
Very nice. All right. A budget of $1.1 million. A box office of $5.5 million.
Damn.
Did pretty well.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
5 times the budget.
Came in at number 103 at the box office. Just behind the movie called Mona Lisa. You familiar with this?
That's Bob Hoskins, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm asking you.
Yeah, I
No,
saw
I've never
that.
seen it.
Cecily Tyson and Bob Hoskins, an English gangster movie.
Okay, and it came in above 52 pickup. What's that?
I've heard of it, but that I can't describe at all.
That's a card game when you just throw the deck of cards around the room and have someone
Right.
pick it up.
That's right. And Mona Lisa, that's a painting. Right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I want to say Robert Downey Jr. is in 52 pickup. Am I wrong about
I
that?
think you're right.
All right, I looked it up. It's a John Frankenheimer movie. I do not see Robert Downey Jr. Ron Jeremy's in it though. It's a Roy Scheider joint. Roy Scheider and Anne Margaret.
Wow. All right.
A secret fling between a man and his mistress leads to blackmail and murder. All right.
Nice.
It's an Elmore Leonard. The tagline is his wife, his mistress, his career, a deadly trap. That sounds like a movie you'd like, Henry. It's a Cannon production.
I'm putting it on.
That sounds like a movie I would like.
Yeah, it's
true. I love Cannon.
Full cues.
All right. So, do you want to do our 1986 lists?
For sure.
Let's do it.
Aaron, you're the guest of honor. So
I also have a list here from Blockbuster Video. Wow, what a difference.
Yeah.
We'll do, Aaron, then me, then you, then Block.
Well,
How's
Blockbuster has some honorable mentions, I will say, because most years
good.
they give us 10. I've got 14 here. So the extras include Stand By Me, Something Wild, all right? Ruthless People, I like that movie, and A Room with a View.
Merchant Ivory joint.
Yeah. The gorgeous settings and top-notch performances make this a sight to behold.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Sure.
Now, what are your honorable mentions, Henry?
I have 3.
Okay.
They got 2 of them were bumped from my list.
Interesting.
Yeah, I had never amended this list from our originals, so it didn't change that much. But my 3 honorable mentions are The Mosquito Coast, The Mission.
Mosquitoes. Why did it have to be mosquitoes?
And for shits and giggles, an honorable mention, it was never on my list, but Star Trek 4, The Voyage Home.
Oh, okay.
Did they get
Always
home
liked
in
that
that
one.
movie? I guess it doesn't
yeah,
matter, right?
and they
The
left.
voyage
And
is
they
what
left.
matters.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
Life is the journey, not the destination.
that's right. Okay, my honorable mentions include Cobra, From Beyond, and a movie I really... I was in like, you know what, I'll save this, because my number 10 I was battling.
Ooh.
All right. Aaron, do you have any honorables?
Yes, my honorables. Cobra is actually one of them, and
Nice.
Terror Vision, another Charles Band production.
Cool.
I don't know Terror Vision.
It's about this. It's semi-satirical of like 80s culture, and it's about like a family who gets this fancy new satellite dish, and then it accidentally zaps in this monster
Wait.
from outer space.
It's like Stay Tuned, but with a monster.
Exactly. Yeah. Instead of the family getting zapped into the satellite zaps a monster to them.
This sounds pretty good.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's like it's cheesy as hell, but it's a lot of fun.
All right.
Cool.
Let's do it. Blockbuster's number
All right.
10 is Platoon.
Okay, just do it that way.
All right, Blockbuster's number 10 is Platoon. This movie led a late 80s Vietnam movie craze. Many subsequent war films were released soon after. All right? That's a fun fact.
Yeah, I didn't know that. All right, Aaron, number 10.
Down by Law.
A great film. All right.
Oh yeah, Dan's gonna dig that.
Yep.
My number 10 won't be on any lists. That is making its list debut at 9.5 weeks.
Good heavens, Henry. Are your masturbation memories
Mickey
that
Rourke.
strong?
They are full on power.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will say this one gave me some trouble. I was between True Stories, the David Byrne film, and Ferris Bueller's Day Off. And listen, I'm going to go with Ferris Bueller, but I just watched True Stories like 2 weeks ago, and it's fucking great.
I need to rewatch that. I just need to rewatch that. I just
I've never
read
seen
about
it.
that recently.
All right.
It's full on David Byrne and his David Burniness.
Yeah.
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 It's full. It's full David Byrne, but John Goodman's the star of it, and I honestly think it's one of John Goodman's best performances. And there's a lot of good music in it, not just Talking Heads, and It's a great movie.
I rang up David Byrne once, and franchise guest Jason Anthony Harris was a little annoyed with me because he was in the back doing some stalking.
I can see him getting mad at it.
And he came back out, and I was just like, "Hey, I just rang up David Byrne." He's like, "Son of a bitch, man! You didn't call me." I'm sorry.
That's pretty fair, Henry. You've never even seen Stop Making Sense.
No, but I like Talking Heads. But that's true. I know. No, but it just didn't present the opportunity. You know, he was a very understated guy. I couldn't work it out.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I felt bad though.
Hey, man, nobody's perfect.
No.
Is that true?
What's the Buster got for 9?
Oh, Blockbuster, right. No, Blockbuster's number 9 is My Beautiful Laundrette. All right? Racism, bigotry, and economics are issues melded into the relationships and handled with honesty and intelligence, thanks to Hanif Kureishi's Oscar-nominated script.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Should probably re-release that movie now.
Sure.
Aaron.
Yes.
Niner.
That'd be Platoon.
All right.
Platoon. Henry?
My number 9 dropped a few spots, but it's still on there. So good luck yourself. That is The Golden Child.
Oh, yeah. I wanted to give you an update. My friend Gallagher was moved to make an Eddie Murphy list after, so he it was a really great list. He ranked all the Eddie Murphy movies, and The Golden Child was second to last. So he had my back on that one.
All right. Well, not everyone can be right like me.
Uh-huh. All right. My number 9 is Aliens.
Ooh. Okay. Very low.
Yeah, he needs to have something to say. But, hey, it's great. It wasn't even on my previous version of this list, but when we covered the podcast, it's so good.
Okay.
All
right. What's Buster's 8?
Blockbuster says for number 8, it's Mona Lisa. We were just talking about it. Genesis's song "In Too Deep" underlies one of the recent cinema's most piercing moments.
God.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, there you go. Bob Hoskins was nominated for an Oscar. Aaron?
Yeah, it's not that good, but...
My number 8 features Goblins and David Bowie's Uncanny Bulge.
Oh, yeah.
That would be Labyrinth.
All right, Labyrinth.
Yeah, that probably should have made my honorable mentions.
Yep. The Henson Company, they've got a new release this weekend. Who's excited for it, gang? The Happy Time Murders.
I was until I started seeing the trailers for it, and especially the reviews.
What, you don't like when that one Muppet comes silly string?
Well, that's just a class act right there.
Yeah.
It looks good.
You get it, Brian Henson. I love it. All right.
Yeah.
My number... Henry, what's your number 8?
My number 8 making its list debut is Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
I love it. I love it. My number 8 is a movie that I used to talk shit about all the time. And I watched it like a month ago, and it's fucking great. I'm sorry. I'm going to say sorry to the cynics out there. My number 8 is Stand By Me.
Oh,
no. Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Not a fan.
I don't... listen, I can relate, but holy shit.
I didn't know that. I didn't know you didn't like it.
Yeah.
Well,
what a film. What a film. Didn't speaking of Stand By Me, Will Wheaton is in that movie, and didn't the fucking priest in Troll 2 remind you of Will Wheaton? He looked like a cross between Will Wheaton and a wrestler.
I just thought of a wrestler, yeah.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
All right.
So who's up? Aaron for 8?
No, Blockbuster.
Buster. This is hard to keep track of.
Blockbuster's number 8 is Jean de Florette / Manon of the Spring.
Right.
Foreign film. Breathtaking cinema from France, all right? Now, Listen to this. I didn't know it, but according to this, it says that they're two separate movies that came out the same year.
Yeah, they are.
Okay,
Yeah.
both are must-sees. I've not seen either one of them. Maybe we should cover them for the franchise.
It'd be a great franchise.
I think so.
Yeah. That's not really fair. Blockbuster kind of breaking the rules there a little
Yeah,
bit. But,
first they're giving me 14 fucking movies, and then they're
Yeah.
sneaking this shitty thing in. Now it's 15?
Wow. Yeah.
Come on, Buster, get your shit together.
Jesus.
All right.
All right.
Aaron, what's your number, whatever we're up to? 7.
7.
7. Stand By Me.
A great
All right.
film, all right?
Great film.
A lot of similarities.
Yeah, especially when I was a kid. I mean, that movie, like, it spoke to me when I was younger.
It spoke to me more as an older. You know why I think that is?
Huh.
Because, like, it's about kids, and it's honest about kids, but it's clearly written from, like, Stephen King's perspective. So it's really a movie about, like, an adult looking back on his kid years. So I think I relate to it more as, like, a 30-something looking back on himself.
Okay.
All right?
All right. Interesting.
I'm like Richard Dreyfuss at the end, you know, taking his... Hey, hang on, gang. I know I had to write a novel, but we're going to the beach soon. Is that Richard Dreyfuss?
I have no idea
I
what you
think so.
referenced. All
It's
right.
Stand
Yeah, I
By
think
Me. All right, number 7, Henry.
Right. Number 7, making its list debut, is The Fly.
That's my number 7.
Ah.
All right, I like it.
Yeah.
Number 6 from Blockbuster. It's Hannah and Her Sisters. It's a cornucopia of wit and wisdom from one of America's most cherished writer-directors.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Okay.
you know.
That was obviously like pre-Me Too.
Yeah,
review.
I would say so. He's not as cherished.
Pre-Me
these
Too,
days.
pre-Sun Yi,
Yeah.
pre a lot.
Yeah. Aaron, number 6.
That would be Manhunter.
Love it.
Nice.
It's just you
Very
and me
nice.
now, sport. Henry,
Inagata Devita. My number 6 is Blue Velvet.
too low. My number 6 is Down by Law.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
No comment.
I know. I know. Oh,
That
what?
seems just like a movie that Dad would like and Henry would hate.
It's a masterpiece. Come on, it's a great black and white film with Tom Waits. It's awesome.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I don't like disavow that at all. I just don't, I'm not a Jim Jarmusch fan. So
Have you seen that one?
No.
Okay. Okay. What have you seen? Like Broken Flowers?
I saw Broken Flowers, Coffee and Cigarettes, Ghost Dog, which I did love. And I saw another one in the 80s. Maybe whatever the one is Down by Law, the one where this like guy spends a night in jail.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah, not a fan.
All right. Okay, number 5, according to the Buster, is The Fly. This chilling remake is not for the squeamish. All right.
That's accurate.
Yeah.
Now it is time.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Do we
Of
miss something?
course. Yeah.
Yes.
Heavy hitters. These are the grand slams, the slap shots, the three-pointers, the touchdowns, the curling when the puck
Stone.
gets close to the circle. These are the heavy hitters of the franchise. Heavy hitters.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Blockbuster. Wait. Oh, I read that already. Okay. Aaron, what's your
Aaron,
first
number
heavy hitter?
5. Yeah.
My number 5 is a real big heavy hitter for me. From Beyond.
A great film. It was an honorable mention for me. It could use a third act, I think, but it's pretty amazing for about an hour.
I think for like between that movie and Reanimator, that's like the perfect double feature. Both of them have Jeffrey Combs at his finest, and special effects and just overall weirdness
That's
are
right.
top notch.
Great stuff. One of the writers of those two movies, Dennis Paoli, was the head of the reading and writing tutoring center in my college, and I used to go there sometimes to be weird and talk to him. All right. My number 5. Oh, Henry, what's your number 5?
Yeah, my number 5 first heavy hitter is Manhunter.
Mm-hmm.
It is a heavy hitter. I gotta say, my top 5 to 1, I think, are real heavy hitters too.
As do I.
Yeah, but really, these could go in almost any order for me for this top 5. But
I won't say that. Yeah. I came up with an order I'm happy with, but they're all great. My number 5 is Spike Lee's debut. She's Gotta Have It.
Yeah, never saw it. Believe it or not.
That should have been one of my honorable mentions. Barely didn't make the list.
Hank, that's streaming over there on Netflix. Check it out.
I know.
It's only like 85 minutes.
No, I gotta see it.
Yeah.
Have they started the show on that yet? Aren't they?
Yeah,
making like a TV show?
The first season came out. That's why they picked up the movie rights. And it was great. I loved it.
Huh.
Mm-hmm. The second season comes out in a couple months, I think. All right, number 4. According to Blockbuster, they went with The Color of Money, the Scorsese movie of that year. They say the real surprise of this movie is Tom Cruise, a recent graduate of advanced scene stealing. All right?
I didn't know that was a major.
Yeah.
Everything's a major. Yeah. Huh.
All right,
Interesting.
Aaron, what's your number 4?
My number 4 is Aliens.
Love it.
Nice.
Hank?
My number 4 is Big Trouble in Little China.
Of course. My number 4, a movie I think is pretty divisive, but I think it's a masterpiece, and that is Sid and Nancy.
Mm-hmm.
I think that movie's excellent.
Oh, good.
Movie's excellent. Another one that barely missed my list.
Okay.
Yeah, that should have been on my honorable mentions. Yeah.
Number 3 to Blockbuster. It's Children of a Lesser God. All right?
That's a great movie.
Yeah, this moving drama takes us into the deaf world with care and grace.
It says that?
Yeah.
Into the deaf world.
I'll say that sentence wasn't written with the most care and grace, but
No.
yeah, Marlee Matlin won an Oscar for that. All right.
That's right.
Aaron, number 3.
The Fly.
Nice.
Great. Hank?
Number 3 is Aliens.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
And my number 3 is Manhunter.
Yeah.
All right. Number 2. We're really getting there now. Blockbuster's number 2 is Blue Velvet. A highly unusual film that breaks convention in plot and execution. Dennis Hopper is riveting as a deadly psycho. All right?
They know what they're doing over there. They know what they're talking about. Yeah. All right, Aaron, the number 2 movie of 1986.
Oh, that would have to be Big Trouble in Little China.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah.
Come on, Wang.
Yep. All right, Henry.
My number 2 movie of 1986 is Platoon.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
It wasn't before. I believe it was Aliens, but I switched it up.
All right, my number 2, I'm agreeing with Blockbuster on this one. It's Blue Velvet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a masterpiece. Have either of you had that on the list yet?
Yeah, I did.
Where? Right, it was mad low.
7.
Okay.
7.
It wasn't
Not mad
7
low.
because we both had The Fly at number 7.
Correct. 6. Sorry, 6. Yes.
All right. What's your number 1 movie of 1986? I'll tell you, Blockbusters, it's Aliens. This sequel to Alien outdoes its predecessor in acting, set design, special effects, and non-stop thrills and chills. Sigourney Weaver is like a female Rambo taking on an army of the slimy killer creatures. Her range is demonstrated in more tender scenes with a little girl lost. James Cameron proves once again
Mostly.
he's a gifted action director. All right? There you go.
He's great. James, he's awesome.
He's
James
amazing. He's amazing.
He is, really
You're
is.
talking about it like as a person, right?
Both
Both.
as a person, as a director, as a writer, as a grower
Visionary.
of beards, as a husband. He's great.
Yeah. Stellar human. What's
Stellar
the number
Skarsgård.
one movie of 1986? Aaron?
That would be Blue Velvet.
Oh, okay, good. All right.
No, that's not gonna not be on my list.
I don't know, man. I never know what to expect. All right.
That's true.
Henry, what's number one?
The number one movie of mine has not changed, and that is Hannah and Her Sisters.
Yeah, I think that's my number one also, and it's Blue Velvet, Hannah and Her Sisters at 1 and 2. I think it always will be. I can't see those numbers changing.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that. I love Blue Velvet. It's just not my favorite David Lynch movie. I do think it's a masterpiece. I actually got to see it on a re-release on the big screen. That was really awesome. But Hannah and Her Sisters will just always be there for me. So
I think Hannah and Her Sisters is Woody Allen's best script.
I think that's possibly fair.
Yeah, I think as a screenplay, it's a perfect piece of work.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, gang. Let's talk about Troll. Let's put the Woody Allens and David Lynches and David Cronenbergs and Jim Jarmusch's aside and talk about John Carl Buechler. All right. JCB.
JCB, right.
So the film, and it is a film, opens with a family of 4 moving into a new apartment complex. And here's the family. It's Michael Moriarty from Law & Order, talking in that clipped way of talking. His hairline is back there in the center of his scalp. And he's got a wife, and she's pretty good. I've seen her and stuff, right?
It looked like she'd been in a lot of stuff.
Oh, you know who she is? You know who she is? She's the wife, the new, the mom from The Stepfather.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So she's in 2 real classics of the 80s. And they have 2 kids, young Harry Potter Jr., who is from The Neverending Story, and a little girl, Jenny Beck, who I don't know. Maybe it's because of Poltergeist, but I did some research. I was like certain she died.
Nope. Uh-oh. Yeah,
but no.
The other one did.
Yeah. You got
Wait, what?
Up.
The other one died.
Yeah.
From Poltergeist.
Yes.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Harry Potter Jr.
No.
No.
Carol Ann died. Yeah.
He's alive and well. And what a cast of characters living in this building, gang.
Oh, my
I'll
gosh.
say.
All right? We get to know all the apartment dwellers. First, we meet, who do we meet? There's Sonny Bono.
Yeah.
All right?
Kids, you might remember him from the Sonny and Cher show.
R.I.P. Sonny Bono.
Yeah. Sonny Bono, he gave the second best performance of the male part of I Got You, Babe, I'd say, after Beavis and Butthead. And what he's a bad skier. Is that what we know about Sonny Bono?
Well, he certainly does not like trees.
Oh, I'm glad he's in this one and not Troll 2. All right. He's
Sorry, Sonny. Rest in peace.
yeah. Sonny Bono, he's a swinger, all right? Stay out of my apartment. I don't want these kids cock blocking me.
Right.
He's one wild and crazy guy.
He is.
Yeah,
like
very
that, for
much
sure.
so. Yeah.
There's also a young couple of actors living in this building, played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus and her real-life husband, Brad Hall.
Right.
Yep.
Were they married at that time?
They
or was
were
this
married, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, I was disappointed because I looked that up and I thought, oh, I hope they met on this set and then got married. And
No,
that's
they met
not
on
the
SNL.
case. No, well, I read they met in college, but
Oh, yeah, maybe they were doing like improv together or some shit.
Brad was on SNL?
Yeah, they both were.
yeah.
Oh, that must have been during the dark
Those
ages.
were the dark years,
was.
the Gene
yeah.
Dumanian seasons.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yep, he didn't get any screen time because Joe Piscopo was hogging up the screen.
Right.
So they're around, hanging out. Julia Louis-Dreyfus, effervescent. God, she really has her comic persona already in this movie.
She does.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's beautiful too, my lord.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear about her appearance? I think it was it Leno or Letterman? I think it was Leno.
It was Leno. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, he brought up Troll on one of her guest appearances, and she was not happy about it.
Yeah.
Really?
She wanted this to be dead and buried.
He showed the sequence where she turns into a wood nymph.
Yeah. Right.
Spoilers, Dan.
All right.
She was upset at that? I thought she'd kind of look at it as like a funny part of her career.
Well, we don't know. We read this on IMDb trivia.
Yeah.
Right?
But
So
it's also pre-internet when like you could kind of have embarrassing stuff kind of like disappear for a while. Nowadays, if you just expect
Right.
anything you've done ever in your life that's embarrassing will resurface eventually.
And that was kind of Leno's thing for a while because he's such a genius. He would bring clips of people from
He loves
old commercials.
Yeah.
It's a big thing.
hey,
Less work.
hey guys, you see this? You see, I have this ad I ripped out of the newspaper. All right, it's for a detergent, and see, it's spelled they screwed it up. There's no R. It's spelled detingent. How about that? How about that?
Comedy
That's
gold.
That's for my 60 and over audience.
Yep, jaywalking. All right. Yeah, so she won't be buying him any denim suits in the future. Okay, so who else do we have here? There's an older lady played by what's her name? Lockhart.
Eunice St. Clair.
What's her name though?
June Lockhart.
June Lockhart from Lost in Space.
Actually, it's Anne Lockhart.
That's not.
No,
true.
no, there is
Anne
June.
Lockhart is her daughter, her
daughter.
real life daughter,
Right.
who plays a younger version of her in this movie.
Which made a lot of sense to me because
Yeah.
when the young version came out, I was like, Jesus, this movie, if it got
Yeah.
something right, it was the way she looks.
Yeah.
And then I found out,
This
relation.
movie pulled the young Sheldon trick before young Sheldon, gang.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I
A Big Bang Theory's ending this year. We all happy about that?
Wait, what's Bang Theory?
Big
What?
Bang,
I don't
Bang,
even
The
know
Bang
what he's
Theory.
talking about.
Never heard of it.
Oh, okay. It's a TV show. Now, the comedy is brought to us because all the characters they're nerds, all right?
Oh.
They're real
That's-
nerds.
That's probably why I never watched it. Like, I ain't no nerd.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but see, for the non-nerds in the audience, they live across the hallway in their apartment building from a hot girl.
Oh wow. Okay, now suddenly I'm interested.
Yeah.
Interesting concept.
Yeah. All right. So, who else?
I recognized one of the neighbors, and I had to look it up, but the Marine guy in the
Sure.
sweatsuit. Yeah, I knew him from somewhere. I'd seen this movie before.
You a big
in the troll-
WKRP in Cincinnati fan?
I watched it as a kid, and
Yeah?
that's who he was. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All
And
right.
that's who it was. It was Andy Travis. There you go. Yeah,
Gary Sandy is this actor's name.
that's right.
All right, so that's everyone that's living in this building, and the old lady we didn't mention is a witch who's like immortal or something.
Right. Yeah, sorceress.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
But I had to ask Aaron a question too.
I'd love to hear it.
And Dan, for that matter, because I only know of these movies, Troll and Troll 2, because of you, Aaron. You and Alex, who were watching them, and as I recall, they just made the rounds. So that's why I saw them. I had never even heard of them. So how did you come to it?
Travel back in time with me to the year 2000 and I don't know, 10?
Yeah, I think that's about right. Yeah.
10 or 11. Like, so me and my former roommate, Alex Halajian, big shout out. We're both connoisseurs of B movies and Z movies to some degree. And this kept on popping up on lists being like, okay, Troll 2. And we're like, okay. And then we rented from Netflix the dual disc that had Troll 1 and Troll 2. And I remember the night we watched it, we were so enthusiastic. And then we watched the first Troll and we're like, huh, wow, that wasn't bad, but it was not at all. Like we didn't think it warranted that kind of cult following.
Right.
And then we flipped the disc over And then we'll get into that later. But
Yeah.
let's just say that it was it made more sense once we watched Troll 2 for
It
the
was a
hype.
game changer. for
That's
you
right. And
in
so
your
that had to,
life, and yeah.
Similar,
I was never the same again.
Similar story for me in that Troll 2 was starting to become a phenomenon as is depicted in that documentary, and so I had read a lot about it. And I never wanted to see it because I'd never seen Troll.
Mm-hmm.
And so I tracked down Troll so that I could watch Troll 2, thinking
Right.
I'd have to watch the first one in order to enjoy the sequel.
It's logical.
And that's not really how that went down, but it did lead me to Troll, which I think is a pretty fun movie. And I've now seen it 3 times.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 2 for me, but yeah, okay, yeah. And I also watched that Best Worst movie because based on all that, and Aaron's Wreck too.
That's really good.
Yeah.
I like that documentary quite a bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
So
All right.
it's moving day, gang. They're starting to get the boxes into the apartment, and they send the daughter and the son to go play. And the son's like, I don't want to fucking watch this kid, god damn it. And she,
Set phasers to dull.
oh yeah, I'd rather watch Star Trek because they keep bringing up Star Trek in this movie for some reason. So she goes down into the basement of the building. She finds a troll just hanging out by the washer dryer, and she, he has a magical ring, and he turns himself into the kid,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
So it's like a
what I
pod
saw.
person kind of a thing. So the boy comes down into the basement, sees the girl there. He goes, have you been playing with dead cats? Which I thought was
an odd question.
I thought it was very matter of fact. Like, this is something she's been caught doing many times.
Yeah. It's the beginning of a psychopath right there.
I love it. It didn't occur to me.
Yeah.
So there's a
it's-
pattern of behavior with this kid.
I
yes.
think that's right. The kid does sort of look and act like the young Michael Myers from the Rob Zombie Halloween.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah.
Piece
yeah.
of shit. Where are you playing with dead cats, motherfucker?
Can't swing a dead cat around this joint without beating up some kind of pussy ass bitch.
Right.
All right.
Right.
So they meet everybody. The one characteristic of the Marine I noticed is he does not like books.
No.
Mm-hmm.
He
No, he
doesn't
does not
read them. They're liberal scum. And but so the family, after the rigmarole with the fire, there's a fire alarm, right?
Uh-huh.
Yes. Goes on for quite a while.
That's right.
That's a very long scene.
It is very long. I was beginning
well,
to
because
wonder
we
if it was
meet
ever
like
going to be
10
turned
characters.
off. Yeah.
Yeah,
All the while through that alarm blaring. Yeah.
Yeah. So they went out and they got burgers from a fast food joint.
Rat burger.
Rat burger, yeah. But that's not really what they're called. Right? Because he calls it that, but then the wife is like, don't call it that.
Right.
Ah.
Right. In
Yeah.
front of the kids. Don't say that in front of the kids.
Yeah. So they eat these burgers, and the daughter, I must say, now inhabited by the troll, is eating them quite ravenously.
Yeah. Yeah, a little voraciously. Seems out of character a little bit to everybody, but not enough. Not really.
The
Not
whole
that-
because
and
they already know she's a psychopath, so they're like, "Oh, she's just
Right.
doing her thing."
also, they never forget they just moved into this apartment. Anytime she does anything weird, and she does like super weird shit, like growl in the voice of a monster, and like throw her brother across the room. They're just
Bite
like.
people.
They're just like, well, it's the move. She needs time to adjust.
Yeah.
Is that how you guys were when you first moved in together? Like for the first couple days, were you like growling and like snapping at each other?
Definitely, and I mean, I was killing a lot of roaches. I remember that.
Well, I moved in a couple.
Tripping over the shower.
Yeah, I moved in a couple days before Henry, so
Yeah, he did.
I was in
Yeah.
there by myself. I just remember sitting in an unfurnished apartment on my one rocking chair, watching like you know what was on that week? The Community episode with like the timelines.
Huh.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Aaron, did you watch that show?
No, I off and on, but no.
It's like considered maybe the best episode of that show. And I remember the night I moved in, that was airing, and I watched that with like a 40, and then there was no furniture. That was my first night there. It led to some great stuff, right?
What, moving in there?
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
classic stuff. All right,
It's good stuff. Yeah.
So, yeah, this kid is getting domestically abused by his sister. He keeps telling his parents, like, I just tripped. it's really
Right.
fun. I hit my head on a door, stuff like that.
Sure.
So then he tries to escape his sister by going to meet the witch lady.
Right.
All right. And she's got a weird apartment.
A little bit weird. Got a little pal in there.
Yep, that's my MVP.
And she just kind of keeps that thing just lying around the living room. And this brings me back to a previous installment of the show. Yo, is she fucking that mushroom?
No, she's not. Although, I gotta say, the whole time, I think the whole first 2 times I saw this movie, I thought that mushroom was a lady. All right? It's a very tender... So it's a mushroom sticking out of a pot, and when the kid comes in, she pops a lampshade on it, all right?
Right.
Like it's a mushroom that's having a really fun time at an office party. And so it's... I always felt that the mushroom held a very feminine energy. And later on in the movie, when there's like that song and dance sequence with the trolls singing that song, the mushroom sings the falsetto parts.
Right.
Huh.
And so I thought it was a lady, but then in the backstory, which I never really paid attention to until we were covering it for the podcast, the mushroom was like her ex-lover.
Mm-hmm.
From when she was like a princess.
Well, see, now I'm confused.
Which brings me back to my previous question.
So I gotta say, I always felt, no, they're just companions, but perhaps she's fucking that mushroom.
I'm confused now because I thought that in her backstory, when she's explaining the land of the fairies and goblins, that Turok the troll was
Turok the dinosaur hunter, yes.
was her lover in that picture, and he took the sides of the trolls in the war against the humans. I thought the troll was her lover. Are you sure on this?
The troll was certainly her lover, but I believe when the troll took the side of the trolls,
yes,
she took up with this other fella who was a knight.
I didn't catch that.
And
okay.
That was the mushroom.
Okay.
So the mushroom and the troll are this woman's 2 ex-lovers.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All
Thanks
right.
for clearing that
Come
up.
on, Henry. It's not that complicated.
I don't know. You guys are pointing things out to me. The girl's a psychopath. The ex-lovers. I'm interested. I'm learning a lot here.
So the troll starts to murder the people in the apartment building. I mean, in the apartments, and turn their apartments into troll havens. Right?
Yeah, a real gruesome death for Sonny Bono.
Yeah. And pretty cool
rough.
Transformation.
It is a pretty cool transformation. He turns
Yeah.
into like a pea pod.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, that was one thing that surprised me that I did not remember from watching it all those years ago was that honestly I mean, it depends on which scene you're talking about, but those effects are pretty good.
Well,
I mean,
your man John Carl Buechler over there got his start as a special effects artist, which
Right,
is
there you
something
go.
he still does to this day.
Well, there you go.
Let me look at some of his special effects credits. He designed the Ghoulies. How about that? How about this? He did all the creatures in From Beyond.
That
and Terror Vision.
All
right.
There you go, Aaron.
So he's pretty good. He designed the Garbage Pail Kids.
Jesus Christ! Wow.
But he worked as a special effects makeup designer on a film we've covered, Henry. Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers.
Oh, isn't that something?
All right, he did some of the designs on Carnosaur. He did the makeup on Red Rock West.
Okay.
All right. So he's an interesting fella, and that's why the fucking effects do look good in this. I think the troll himself is a pretty decent character design.
I agree.
I think so.
Yeah, he doesn't look like out of place or any better or worse than any character like in Labyrinth. I mean,
he's got like creepy human eyes too.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's also played by that same dwarf. That's in. He plays dual roles in this movie.
I didn't know that
That's
until afterwards either.
All right?
Yeah.
It's like an Eddie Murphy situation.
Very impressive.
And so he is the daughter, the possessed daughter meets a dwarf on the street, and she asks him, "Are you an elf?" And he says no. He explains to her what a dwarf is, but she insists on continuing to call him Brother Elf.
Right.
Yeah, because she's kind of an elf too. The troll movies, there are elves, trolls, and goblins, and they're pretty indiscriminate about which one they bring up at any given time.
That's true.
They're pretty much interchangeable, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean,
he's dying, right? I didn't remember that either. He's dying.
He is dying. He's got
very
a lot of
uncomfortable
pathos
scene.
of that character.
Yeah, very uncomfortable. And then I'm like, what's he dying of? Cancer? Dwarfism?
Dwarfism, I'd imagine. It's sort of like the
he's
reverse of Andre the Giant disease.
Right. He had he was talking about X-rays and shit.
Yeah, that got a lot darker than I thought.
Yeah, it took a real downturn.
I like the scene where he comes over for dinner and they think it's going to be a kid. They offer him chocolate milk and he's like, "No, thank you. I'll have a scotch. I'm about to die."
Gin and tonic, please.
Oh, right. He has a G and T. Good point.
Mm-hmm.
Little G and a little T. And also during that sequence, that whole sequence was kind of great. Harry Potter Jr. is in his bedroom watching Invasion of the Body Snatchers, but they shot like fake Invasion of the Body Snatchers footage, which I really enjoyed. Yeah.
Yeah. They really put the money into this one. I mean, I think for all of it taking place in that little apartment complex, they knew where to put the money.
Every cent of that $1.1 million is on the screen.
Yeah, that's right.
Even at the end, when shit's like blowing up, it looks a little bit like the skyscraper shit in Ghostbusters, like a low budget version of that.
Yeah. Yeah, anytime they go for like kind of lightning bolts or anything, then you can kind of see the pre-CGI stuff. But yeah. Hey.
But I don't mind that shit. Like when they're growing plants in all the apartments and stuff, like that looks bad, but I kind of like the practicality of it all. Yeah.
I agree.
All right. Where we want to go next, gang? The singing performance, I think, is the best sequence in the movie.
It's real good. The music's pretty on point too.
Yeah,
evoking a little Edvard Grieg going on there.
Mm-hmm. Look at you.
Little Peer Gynt stuff.
And a lot of those creatures kind of seem like they're like leftovers from the Ghoulies franchise.
I really enjoyed the one that has a pig snout.
Mm-hmm.
He was cute. They're all pretty cute. Like the troll himself, the main troll, is a little creepy because of the human eyes, I think. But all the ones that are just puppets, I thought they were pretty sweet. I wanted to like marry the wood nymph version of Julia Louis-Dreyfus and go live among the trolls.
Sure. Absolutely.
The one creepy though, one really creepy model though, I gotta say, was the little person when he gets turned into an elf for real. That's one of the most terrifying things I've ever seen.
Yeah, I did not care for that.
That was very disturbing. Yeah, I think if I would have seen this when I was a kid, that would have given me nightmares. That particular thing, but I didn't. So yeah.
So the old lady finally realizes that the troll is killing folks, and she pulls out a magic horn and blows on it, and she says that hurts them.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a Deus Ex Machina, but
yeah, right.
It's okay.
I was gonna make a blowing joke, but I won't.
So this intergalactic war comes to this apartment complex. Eunice the witch, first she gets turned into her younger self, right? And then she gets turned into a tree stump. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so. That was the order, right, Aaron?
That's about right.
But then at the end, she's not a tree stump anymore. She's back to being her younger self. Because remember, there's that scene where she gives Harry Potter Jr. a little wink.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. And like this, yeah, you mentioned Ghostbusters, and actually that's right. Even the top of the building, right, sort of exploding and having all that shit come down on it. That was very Ghostbustery.
Mm-hmm.
And then the police are there, and crowds gather, and then it's kind of like there's nothing to see here, folks, and everything's cool.
That was crazy to me, because at the end of the movie, everything in the building gets turned back to normal, but all the people that the troll killed are still dead. So
They're
it's
done,
like
right?
this full apartment building, where everyone's dead. There's just been this crazy weird commotion on the street with vines coming out of the roof of this place. And the family of Potters, they just take off. Like, they get into their station wagon. They're like, I guess we're moving. But surely they'd be arrested for murder.
I would think they'd be the prime suspect.
I would imagine they'd
Definitely.
be the prime suspects in the murders of everybody in this building.
But then again, Michael Moriarty does have Law and Order experience, so he might know how to get out of that. Can we talk briefly about the sequence where he's putting on the record and dancing?
Yes.
He puts on Summertime Blues, a song I have a lot of problems with because we should never be blue in the summertime. And
Not a good song.
it's pretty bad, but what is it? It was
Do
sort of like
you guys know, real quick, do you guys know whose version of that song?
Yeah, I was going to ask you. Yeah.
Yes, that's Blue Cheer. At one point in time, they were known as the loudest band in rock and roll.
I thought The Who was the loudest band in rock and roll.
Not at this time.
Okay.
But Blue Cheer, that was like their thing. I mean, maybe they were louder, but I can't. That's 60s or 70s. I don't know. I'm really bad with date, but they do a.
It was
they're
real.
basically the origins of like heavy like stoner rock sort of stuff.
It was Bobo Hendrix. I mean, whose song is that originally? Is it like The Who?
No. That's,
I think it goes back longer than that.
Oh,
Yeah,
it is.
it
Okay,
does.
it's by
It's an
Eddie
old song.
Cochran. I looked it up.
I knew it was an Eddie, yeah.
All right, yeah, here we go. Blue Cheer. They recorded in the 60s and 70s, and Blue Cheer, the name, it was the name of a variety of LSD made by chemist and Grateful Dead patron Owsley Stanley. All right?
Perfect name.
Yeah. Discography, they got an album, their first album was called Vincibus Eruptum. All right? I don't fucking know. They were around until like the late 2000s.
Oh no shit.
Yeah.
Huh.
San Francisco band.
Huh.
Huh.
Dickie Peterson, Randy Holden, and Paul Whaley.
Who could forget?
Who could
And-
forget?
But Michael Moriarty's dancing.
You don't dance like that when you're alone? Or when your wife is in the kitchen?
That's me. Like every time I get home from work.
Yeah. It's good stuff. It's really long, and then I like when his wife comes in and sees him, and just kind of like nods, like
yeah, she's just sort of like, "Oh, Harry Potter."
Yeah. Right. Oh, Harry Potter Sr.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was confused by that sequence too, but I think the whole thing is just to like mask the noise of someone being murdered. Like something's happening during that. We're like cutting away. Right. But it does kind of go on for. We hear like the entire Blue Cheer cover of Summertime Blues.
Yeah, it's long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at the end of the movie, we get a sequel set up. Some cops go into the building, and one of them opens a door in the basement, and it leads to the magical land of trolls.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I guess that'll bring us to Troll 2, gang.
I think so.
Yeah. All right. So that's Troll.
What are you guys giving this?
I'm gonna give it a 2, and it's because now, okay, I'm going to judge these movies on completely different levels because we'll get to Troll 2. Troll 2 is a train wreck, and you have to judge it on the level of something like The Room or you know, Birdemic or something. Whereas Troll is a real movie. It kind of works as a real movie.
I agree.
And so I'm going to give it a 2, but it's a totally watchable movie that I would recommend to someone who has never seen it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wouldn't, but I am also giving it a 2 because it is very watchable and it is a real movie, which I did not, think it was. And it's I won't say it's well made, but
it's kind of well made.
Kind of. I mean, it's not even close to. Well, maybe it's not even close to being the worst movie we've watched for this show.
It's not the worst movie we've covered for this show from this year, the year that brought us Heart Bodies 2.
Yeah, that's true.
Wait, that didn't make any of your guys' list?
No, sadly.
I'm on the same page. I'm on the same page with you guys. It's a 2. It's like a strong 2. Like it's not bad, but it's not something that I would like watch again unless if it was for like the purposes of this podcast or something.
It's solidly in the center of 2. It's definitely not a 1, and it's definitely not a 3.
Yeah.
Oh, 3 across the board 2s.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Who's your MVP?
LVP. Aaron?
My MVP will probably have to go to Michael Moriarty. I just like the guy a lot.
He's great, man.
He's great. He's great in
Q.
Q.
Law and Order. Wait, Q?
He's great.
Oh,
Q,
the fucking dragon movie?
The Winged Serpent.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite performances by him is in this movie called The Stuff, which is like
I remember that DVD cover.
Yeah, it's like a consumerist satire meets The Blob.
Interesting.
Right.
It's amazing. I wish there was a sequel to that. I would definitely be on that episode.
Yeah.
By the way, John Carl Buechler also did the special effects for the Ginger Dead Man.
Nice.
Okay.
My MVP's Gary Sandy.
He's
was
the military fella?
Yeah, I was quite entertained by him and everything he did and everything he said.
He's very good. I will say also, like, I like all the residents of the building. Like, we like made fun of Sonny Bono and shit, but he's really fucking funny in that creepy ass role.
I was gonna give him my LVP.
I love the scene where he's like, it's like the morning after he like fucks some lady, and he asks her if she wants breakfast, and she says yes, and he says there's pancake mix in the kitchen.
Yeah, it's just so fucking creepy and terrible. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, it's a tough call with LVP because the wife's pretty bad too. Or
like just she was yet again in the case
colorless,
of not having anything to really do.
No, but like at least the witch Eunice is kind of charismatic. And the wife is just kind of a blank slate. But yeah, all right. Well, then because of your love for Sonny Bono, I'll give it to the wife there. There you go.
Okay. All right. She's very good in The Stepfather, though.
I believe you.
Mm-hmm.
And who's the LVP and who's left to do?
I have to go. Wait, have you not done LVP yet?
I have not done LVP.
Who's your LVP?
It's simply Brad Hall. He just kind of just shows up and disappears. He's like, there's not really anything going on with his character.
I gotta tell you, I felt the same way. I wanted to know more about this guy. First of all, I don't like Brad Hall's presence in this movie already because he's creepy looking. He looks like an albino worm. And he's wearing Cubs gear in the entire movie, which he probably just brought from home because he's a Chicago improv nerd. I wasn't that into Brad Hall.
There you go.
But and my MVP, of course, is the mushroom.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
that's good. I do have a superhero count of 3.
I'd love to hear it.
All right,
that's higher than Mission Impossible.
I think so. Sonny Bono.
Huh.
Oh boy.
Was Mayor Berkowitz in an episode of Lois and Clark.
Mayor Berkowitz? What, is it a Jew? I don't buy that.
Yes, I guess. In Kansas, nonetheless, right?
Okay.
Number 2, June Lockhart.
That's the younger Eunice, right? Or the older? Okay, we're fucking that up. All right.
And I wouldn't have included this, but I didn't know this, Dan, and I don't think you ever told me this, but I didn't know this was actually a Dark Horse comic first. She was in an episode of Duckman.
Huh.
I don't know if I ever knew that was a comic. Yeah. I used to watch that show, though.
There you go. Well, it's based on a comic, and she played a character named the Oppressed Wife.
Love it. That was a great show. It was on at 11:30 p.m. On the USA Network in the 90s, right after the Weird Science TV show. I used to watch both those shows. Yeah.
There you go.
I remember both of those.
And then number 3, I believe this man has come up before, but I couldn't even write down his credits because he has hundreds and hundreds. It's the guy who did the voice of the troll was Frank Welker.
We've talked about him.
Oh yeah.
Exactly. I don't remember when. It was impossible.
Frank,
but he's just...
Frank Welker has been involved in 75% of the movies that have been made.
Yeah.
You know when we fucking covered him, Henry? He was the voice of LL Cool J's parrot in Deep Blue Sea.
Holy shit. Good call.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. That's it. That was right. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Frank Welker. Didn't he play RoboCop? All right. Let's talk about Troll 2, gang. 1990. Our new director and writer is Claudio Fragasso. He wrote it with his lady, right?
Mm-hmm.
It came out October 12th, 1990. On HBO, though, I believe. Now, this is a weird one, because the Troll is technically not a franchise. But this is Troll 2, and it does exist on like a dual disc Blu-ray and shit.
That's what I had it on.
So yeah, like you have to. We gotta cover it. It was originally made though as a movie called Goblins, and they decided to change the name to Troll 2. I don't know I don't have budget or box office information, but I will say some joker on IMDb put the budget up as $10.
RDR.
Yeah.
Well, Aaron, you probably know some stuff about this, no?
Yeah. So the Claudio Fragasso and like his sort of like writing directing partner Bruno Mattei Mettei, the two of them like worked on a ton of films, kind of like trading writing or sharing writing and directing things. And this guy is just notorious for making sequels to stuff that don't really need or have a sequel. And here I'm going to read you off some of them.
For money reasons, right? Because
totally.
Yeah.
They all seem like shameless cash grabs.
They figured a movie called Troll 2 would make more money than a movie called Goblins.
Exactly. See if any of these sound familiar. Hell of the Living Dead. Zombie 3, which I guess it's like the Italian.
The Fulci film.
Night of the Living Dead is the continuation of that. Strike Commando.
Like Commando?
Yeah.
I want to see that.
Jaws 5, a.k.a. Cruel Jaws.
What?
Wow.
Here's the two best ones. Robo War, a.k.a. Robot de Guerra. It's see if this plot sounds familiar. It's about an elite special force team that goes into the jungle to rescue some people, and then an invisible in this movie, an invisible robot tracks them down, and they have to hunt it.
Huh.
So it's Predator.
Ringing a bell?
Instead of a robot, or instead of an alien, it's a robot. But the most shameless one is this movie called Shocking Dark, a.k.a. Terminator 2. This came out shortly after Terminator and shortly after Aliens, and this movie is literally, the first half is literally a shot-for-shot remake of Aliens. The second half, their robot companion starts going ape shit on them and starts chasing them around like Sarah Connor was chased around at the end of Terminator. So it's basically a 2-for-1 knockoff. And when I say like shot for shot, it's like, I mean, horribly made, but it's pretty shameless.
Wow.
Now it's sort of like that company that exists now that looks at the release schedule and they make movies that sound sort of like movies that are coming out.
Is that Asylum?
Asylum, right. So when Transformers was coming out, they made a movie called Transmorphers. And just this past month, they put out a movie called The Megalodon to compete with the Meg.
Wow.
But this guy, I think Asylum is like pretty upfront about what they're doing. It was interesting because I watched for the podcast Best Worst Movie, which is a documentary about Troll 2 made by the kid from Troll 2. And Claudio Fragasso takes himself pretty seriously as a filmmaker. Like watching him watch the movie with a crowd and have them laugh at like parts that weren't meant to be funny. It was like watching Tommy Wiseau like before he understood like the myth of The Room.
Mm-hmm.
It was a little bit sad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think this brings up the point that like there are movies that are truly so bad it's good. And then there's movies that try to go for that, like the Sharknadoes out there that they're like, we're making a bad film. And it really falls short of some of these other movies like The Room or like Troll 2, which we're going to get into. But I think the key ingredient to it is the director has to be 100% genuinely invested into it. He's got to be thinking like that this is going to be a work of art. And it doesn't have a single shred of irony in it.
Right.
Yeah, he's totally unself-aware.
I think Sharknado, the first one, works because of that. The sequels don't work because they now understood that they're going to have an audience and they're expecting a certain thing. But, I mean, that's the reason The Room works. It's all about sincerity. That's the reason this works. That's the reason Birdemic works. That's the reason Easy Rider 2 works. I like a lot of those movies.
But there's a lot that kind of fall short because they're trying too hard to make a bad movie.
I think that's true. So like what are you thinking about?
Trying to think of
there's that there's a crew of people that want to make like a cult classic that always falls short to me. I feel like people that put Bruce Campbell in movies do that a lot. I don't know. I'd have to really think about it, but I know what you mean. Listeners out there, can you think of it?
Please write in and tell us your least favorite bad movies that are just bad.
Yeah, there's tons.
Yeah.
All right. Now let's talk about Troll 2. Oh, wait, should we do our 1990 list?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, I have my list here. It's not as good a year as 1986, but it's not bad. And
no, that was pretty good.
All right, well, let's do it. I have a lot of the same directors.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that. I don't know if I do or not.
Yeah.
I don't think I do.
Yeah, here's Lynch again. Here's Spike Lee again. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Even Rob Reiner makes a return appearance.
Yeah. All right. So you starting with the Buster?
That Blockbuster book only goes up to 1989.
All right.
I do not have a 1990 list for Blockbuster.
I love it. All right. So, Aaron, any honorable mentions before you get into your list?
Yeah, I would probably put Darkman and Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer
Okay.
as like honorable mentions. I wouldn't make the list, but they're very I'd say they're good movies.
Yeah.
Henry?
Cool. Yeah, I had quite a few, so I'm not going to name them all. But honorable mentions for me would be Internal Affairs, Tremors, Presumed Innocent, Awakenings, Flatliners, Dick Tracy, and White Palace.
Oh, I thought you were about to say White Power. Mine are Twister with Crispin Glover and Brain Dead.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Huh. All right.
Or Brain Dead is Dead Alive, right?
There also is another movie called Brain Dead. Are you talking about the one that is the Dead Alive?
I see. That's what was confusing. Like, because I wanted to put Dead Alive on the list if it was Brain Dead, but I thought that came out in like 1992 or something.
Yeah.
All right. So maybe just Crispin Glover Twister.
All right.
Yeah, that is 92.
Okay.
So that must have been the other Brain Dead.
Got it. I don't know that one. All right. What's number 10, Aaron?
Number 10, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Love it.
Wow.
The only good one in the entire franchise.
Yeah.
Secret of the Ooze has its moments.
Okay, fair enough.
My number 10 is Misery.
Okay. You know, they say misery loves company. Frustrated Incorporated. All right. My number 10 is John Waters' musical Cry Baby.
Johnny Depp, right?
That's right.
Yep.
Number 9, Aaron.
Crybaby.
Great.
Look at that.
Yeah. Hank.
Number 9 for me is Wild at Heart.
Great movie. My number 9 is The King of New York.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's Walken, right? Christopher Walken?
Yeah. Abel
I don't think
Ferrara.
I ever saw that. That's crazy that I never saw that. Yeah. All right. What's your 9, Aaron?
My 8.
Or 8, sorry.
Will be Le Femme Nikita.
Oh, I like it.
I'm going to tell you something. You want to know something interesting?
Yeah.
I recently realized for some reason I had never seen that movie. And so I put it on my Netflix queue. I got it. And I couldn't get through it.
Huh.
What?
Yeah, I just didn't. I don't know. Maybe I wasn't in the mood. I don't know. We're just talking like 2 weeks ago. It wasn't. It was really, really slow. I mean, and I wasn't really expecting that. I guess I'm not sure what I was expecting. But
I'm expecting The Professional.
Maybe I don't know. I just I couldn't do it.
Le Femme Nikita is definitely more on the drama side.
Yeah.
Of the
By the way, La Femme Nikita, speaking of USA in the 90s.
Yeah, right. For sure. All right. My number 8 making its list debut is Total Recall.
Love it. It's a great movie. My number 8 is Arachnophobia.
Yeah.
That's a great movie, too.
Yeah.
Should have been on my honorable mentions, actually.
That scared the shit out of me when I was a kid.
Me too, man.
Yeah. Number 7.
Wild at Heart.
Love it.
Nice.
Henry.
My number 7 is a Robert Altman movie, which doesn't happen with me very often.
OC and Stiggs. Popeye.
Vincent and Theo.
I've never seen that one. It's one of the few Altmans I skipped for some reason.
Yeah, it's a great movie. Yeah.
My number 7 is Misery.
Yeah.
Yep. Cock-a-doodie car. All right. 6.
My number 6. This movie is literally a Jacob's Ladder scenario. That's
My
chicken
man.
flatter.
Very
My
nice.
man.
All
Well
right.
done.
My number 6 is it's a fairy tale about a fella with scissors for hands. That's right, Edward Scissorhands.
Really? You still like that one?
That movie's a masterpiece.
Is it really? I
Yes.
should see it again. It's been a really long time since I saw it.
It's
Yeah.
so great.
Okay, so now we're on my
I
number
think
6.
Tim Burton, from Pee-wee's Big Adventure up through like Ed Wood, is bulletproof.
That's probably a fair statement. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not a giant period of. Well, I guess it's like eight years.
It's 8 years. Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
Mm.
My number 6 is a movie you both have seen, foisted upon on you by me. We talked about it last week. Revenge.
Yep, I saw that on the list.
Oh,
I knew that was gonna
I
be on
went
yours.
out of order. I'm sorry. I just realized. But
I thought so, but I didn't know. That's
but yeah,
okay.
Revenge. Sure, Kevin Costner.
Number
movie. Have
6.
fun with that. Aaron, what's your number 5?
Woo.
Wait. Let's slow your roll.
What? Oh, of
These
course.
the grand slams, the slap shots, the three-pointers, the touchdowns, the curling when the puck gets close to the circle. These are the heavy hitters of the franchise. Heavy hitters.
And my heavy horse is Mo Better Blues.
That is a heavy hitter. What's Denzel's character's name in that? It's one of my favorite character names of all time.
I never saw that. I don't know.
I lost my phone. I can't. Okay.
I have some Spike Lee movies to watch. Jesus Christ.
You do. Like those are the early. Hey, Spike Lee.
I think it's just those two, though.
But
Yeah.
Spike Lee is bulletproof from
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
Gotta Have It all the way to probably Son of Sam. No, I mean 25th Hour.
That's a good. Yeah, right. Because he had Bamboozled in there.
Yeah. After
for
that,
sure.
it was like She Hate Me and Miracle at St. Anna. It went a little downhill, but
Right. He's
yeah.
back.
But he's back. He's back and better than ever. Black Klansman's masterpiece. All right,
Yep.
my number. Or Henry, what's your number 5?
My number 5 is the aforementioned Jacob's Ladder.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Good choice.
Thank you.
My number 5 is Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer.
Ah.
Another one I've never seen. That's with Michael.
Michael Rooker.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. It's a good one. It's very, very dark.
So
Great.
I heard.
Yeah, really. Yeah, it is. It's real nihilistic, but it's great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So number 5 for Aaron. Are we?
By the
number
way,
4?
Denzel
Number
Washington's
4.
character in Mo Better Blues is Bleak Gilliam.
Nice.
Yeah, I couldn't
Nice.
remember.
That's pretty good.
My number 4 is Total Recall.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, it's
Nice.
not on my list, and it
Ooh.
probably should be.
Yeah.
What
it
do
was
I
my
have
new
here at
addition.
number 10? Crybaby. It is great. I don't know. Maybe it's my number 11. It's just right outside. All right. Hank, what's your
My
number,
number
4?
4. My number 4 is Franco Zeffirelli's Hamlet.
Ooh, the Mel Gibson one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think it's great.
He,
Yeah.
if you listen real close into that Shakespearean dialogue, he slipped a couple of kikes.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so. He changed the word Shylock to that.
yeah. My number 4 is Mo Better Blues.
Okay.
Okay. Number 3, Aaron.
In my opinion, like a damn near perfect monster movie. Tremors.
Yeah,
a great
good.
movie.
It's good. We
Great
should cover
movie.
it.
Yeah.
Hank.
My number 3 movie is Miller's Crossing.
Yeah, that's amazing. Did you hear about that Tremors TV show, Aaron?
Heard about it, never saw it.
It didn't. No. The new one. This is so fucked up, dude.
No, never mind.
they were-
I know they made a bunch of sequels.
They wanted to get a Tremors TV show off the ground. Kevin fucking Bacon was willing to come back and star in it, and no
Wow.
network
Whoa.
picked it up.
That's stupid.
It's ridiculous.
yeah, that's
But
dumb.
we brought back Roseanne, and that's all that counts.
Well, she's gone now. It's going to be the Connors this season.
Really?
Yeah, did you know that?
No.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and make Roseanne without Roseanne.
Oh my God.
It's a real Hogan family situation.
I think it's gonna be like Happy Days. She's just gonna go upstairs and to her room, and they'll just never speak of her again.
That would be great. I hope she's rotting in that fucking room. All right.
Yeah, I heard Bill Cosby. They're bringing back the Cosby Show with no Bill Cosby.
Oh yeah, who are they gonna get?
No,
Dougie Doug?
No, just no dad.
No dad. Just a sentient bowl of
ghost
pudding
dad.
on
Ghost
the table.
dad.
Yeah, ghost dad. All right. Your number 3 was Miller's Crossing. My number 3 is Wild at Heart.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, yeah, great. I love it. Yeah.
Number 2.
All right. Yeah, number 2, Aaron.
Number 1 and number 2 kind of go back and forth for me, but I'll probably put Miller's Crossing at number 2.
Yeah.
All right. I know where we're going
tough.
here, and I feel the same way. All right.
It's very tough. My top 3 were very hard.
What's your 2 though? That's what I'm confused by, Henry.
Well, I said Miller's Crossing.
Oh my God, Henry! So help me, fucking God! If you say Dances with Wolves, I'm gonna come over there and sock you.
Is that if it's number 2 or number 1?
If it's on the list,
So I can't win either way.
no.
Oh, well. See, that's funny because I thought you'd be pleased that on my amended list for now, I was dropping it off number 1.
Was it number 1 on the previous list?
Wow.
For many years.
Wait, I don't know why we're trying to be secretive from the audience. This is the year
I'm not.
Goodfellas came out. What?
I know.
In your mind, Goodfellas was good, but not as good as Dances with Wolves.
Here's the thing.
Like, Scorsese's great,
Here-
but he's not quite as good a filmmaker as Kevin Costner.
Hang on. Easy does it. All
You
right.
already have Revenge on this list.
So my number 2 is Dances with Wolves. Now, I always loved that movie. It's unfortunate that it came out the same year as Goodfellas. And it's a very easy, fun movie to hate. I understand.
Well,
I'm
only
pretty
'cause
much
it's so
completely
bad.
alone. Right. I'm pretty much completely alone, but I'm used to that. on
I'm
some of my
sure it
picks,
would be
so
on
I'm fine.
Blockbuster's list.
I don't know. Maybe. I'm sure, yeah. But, yeah, that's my number 2.
Better
there,
than Miller's
buddy.
Crossing.
No, it's not. It's not better than Miller's Crossing.
The ranking
It's-
tells me otherwise.
Well, it's like a 3-way tie. It's a tough
Ugh.
one for me, these 3.
All right,
Yeah.
my number 2 is Miller's Crossing.
Mhm.
Aaron?
Okay. Number
And
1
the
movie.
number 1 film, we could all say it together.
All right.
1, 2, 3, good.
Good fellas.
All right. And
Well, I'm
it's
glad
not
I was
just
able
because
to
we're
join in.
3 white dudes on a podcast. It's because it's a masterpiece.
Okay. We're all somewhat on the same page, except for that Dances with Wolves garbage.
Jesus
Right.
Christ.
Right. I don't know why you're so surprised, Dan. You knew that for a long time.
forgot. All right.
Yeah, sorry.
Hey, Runs with Bears over there. You want to describe the plot?
No,
All
I
right,
want
all
our
right.
guest to
No, of
describe
course Aaron should, yeah.
Oh, Jesus. The plot. So the plot is basically starts off with Grandpa Seth.
That's right.
Seth telling little Joshua, his grandson, a story about a prince in a magical forest just running around, getting chased by some goblins.
Yeah.
Yeah. The effects already kick
They
in.
look great.
Yeah. Yes. And which, by the way, I gotta make a note. Like the word, I mean, this is like one of the things it's notorious for is like literally they never use the word troll once in this entire movie. It's all goblins.
Right, and
And
the
it's not-
town that they go to is Nilbog, which is goblin spelled backwards.
Yes. Yes.
Right.
In like the what's the tradition of like red rum or Alucard for Dracula. They
Right, yeah. You know, I forgot that it was a revelation, because it's, to me, like, it's so just obvious now Nilbog is goblin spelled backwards that, like, 3/4 of the way through the movie when, like, the kid is just like, holy shit, it's goblin spelled backwards. I was kind of blown away by that.
Okay, yeah. Anyways, Grandpa's telling the story about this guy getting chased by some goblins. The guy falls down, gets a concussion, from all I can tell, and then this beautiful freckled face.
Oh my God, those freckles! It looked like something out of a telenovela.
Yeah, so it just took a brown Sharpie and just went doop doop doop. So she feeds this injured prince or guy, I don't even know what it is, some green goop, which he
looks like Speedy from Green Arrow.
Oh yeah.
What?
Yeah, with the little hat and all that.
Sidekick, right?
Oh yeah,
the Green Arrow sidekick, like if he was live action in the 60s.
Right, like before he got addicted to heroin.
Right. Yeah, no, I think it was around the same time.
Oh, okay.
I forgot about that.
But yeah, so basically, then he realizes that the girl is actually a goblin, and he turns into plants, yada yada, and then the story ends, and then the kid's like, it's like, goblins aren't really real, and the grandpa creepily is like, yes, they are real. And then at this point, the mom comes into the boy's bedroom, and she's just all like, who are you talking to? And he's just all like, I'm just talking to Graham. And it turns out that Grandpa's been dead this whole time.
Yeah. That kind of a revelation usually happens at the end of a movie. But we're just setting up this dead Grandpa as a character.
It's like Sixth Sense if it's like 5 minutes into the movie. It's like, oh, by the way, I'm a ghost.
Yeah.
By the way, that actress, significant downturn in quality of actor.
Oh my God!
Of the wife, is she on something?
She's weird, man. Her appearance in Best Worst Movie is fucking chilling.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah,
I don't remember.
I would argue almost exploitative on the director of that documentary, because it's like
certainly when they go back to see her again.
Yeah.
What happens? I don't remember that for our listeners too.
She's just. She just has some clear mental issues that it seems like the movie's kind of like little poking a little bit, and I don't even know how to describe it.
She sort of reminds me of like the Allison Janney character in American Beauty or something.
Oh wow!
And she's like pretty comatose, but she's like at home taking care of her old mother. And they make her reenact the scene from Troll 2, which is kind of weird.
Geez.
And she says that she's still acting, but she doesn't really have an agent anymore. But she wants to get back out there and audition, and it's all just. And she lives in this weird compound where there's a sign outside that says anyone who knocks may be shot or something.
So she's in Texas. Jesus Christ.
No, I think she's in Utah, where they filmed the movie.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, so that brings us to another point. So the whole big thing about this movie, Italian director / writer, who he also co-wrote it with his wife, Rosella, and neither of them have a firm grasp on the English language. I think it's pretty clear, but they also, I guess, they don't have a lot of talent in actually, or maybe the most talent for all I know at this point, for actually casting people. So they did sort of like an open casting call. They got a couple people who have done some acting, but most people were just regular people off the street. Like
weirdly, the ones who had really acted before are the child actors, like the son and the daughter. They had worked before.
And the grandpa has done a lot of theater stuff, but never movies. And so the dad, he was actually the local dentist who got this role, who is a very charming character throughout the documentary. And he plays the dad, and then this brings us back to the plot. So, or should I don't want to skip over this the creepy sister scene. So
well, all right. So we open the movie out in the kid's bedroom talking to that grandpa. I really like the kid's room. One thing this movie has no problem with is just like intellectual property lying around everywhere with no worry about getting sued.
Great.
Great. It's insane. Like
I had 2 posters that were in that kid's room.
Oh yeah.
Yep, I had the Tim Burton Batman poster, that same one. And I had that Superman poster.
Yeah, there's a lot of DC shit, a lot of Disney merch. There's at one point someone's wearing a Looney Tunes shirt with like someone in sunglasses because that's what we did back then. And a lot of Major League Baseball franchises on his wall. Did you happen to catch right behind his bed the Darryl Strawberry Mets pennant?
I did. I saw the Mets pennant. I didn't see it was Darryl Strawberry.
Yeah.
I saw a Reds pennant. I saw a San Francisco Giants thing. I saw. Yeah, it was all over the map there.
Yeah, I am a fan of baseball.
Yeah. Americans and their sports. You just enjoy sports.
Yeah.
Right.
Meanwhile, in the daughter's room, she's off. What is she like?
She's
pressing?
Bench pressing. Like American girls do.
Yeah, and she's got some posters in her room of actors, and I noticed Tom Cruise and Johnny Depp looking extra sexy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
then keeping up with another weird like 80s 90s trope. It's like totally normal for the boyfriend to just creepily like sneak in through their window.
That's right. A real Clarissa explains it all situation.
Yeah, was that a thing that were like?
I mean, I can think of it in
trespassing?
so many things. Like, right? Didn't the friend in Blossom do that? I feel
yes,
like
I think Scream didn't Scream have something like that going on?
Yeah,
Billy Loomis crawled through that window and screamed. They did it all the time on Saved by the Bell. I think Zach Morris used to crawl into like Jesse's room.
Yeah, it's before ADT really made it big, and how home alarm systems weren't the biggest thing.
It's true. Sloman's Shield didn't really take off yet.
Right. No. Yeah.
Sloman's Shield, what it means to be from Maine. And they're similar.
Lobsters and security.
Yeah.
So he comes through the window, and they have a very odd sequence together.
I liked this boyfriend. I thought he was a pretty good actor.
It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
She is, wow.
But I loved her. I have a real affection for this daughter.
Really?
She's got great crooked teeth. She's very charming in the documentary. She's a really bad actor.
It's
but
really funny.
By no
how bad
means
she
the
is.
worst in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
No, I guess not.
The mom is way
worse. A lot of the
worse.
bad acting like also has to come with the script. Like people who are like not as experienced actors
It's
getting
true.
handed a script that has like completely undecipherable English sentences.
You gotta give them a grain of salt. It's impossible to read this dialogue and sound like you're not an insane person.
Okay, so here, I wrote this down. So after the boyfriend comes in the room, he scares her while she's bench pressing, and then she kicks him in the balls, and he says, "What are you, nuts? Are you trying to turn me into a homo?"
Yeah.
To which he replies, "It wouldn't be too hard. If my father discovers you here, he'd cut your little nuts off and eat them. He can't stand you." To which he replies, and you?" And she's like, "I like you." And then they kiss.
The other thing about this boyfriend character is he loves his friends. He's way obsessed with his little group of friends, and he like wants to take them everywhere. Like, so he's like going on vacation with his girlfriend and her family, and he finds a way to get like the boys on the road with him, and she does not like this. She tells him, "I don't believe in group sex." All right, and I thought that was noted. All right, it's important as a 13-year-old to have an opinion on group sex.
Yeah.
All right, so we go on this vacation,
and this vacation is one of those typical American things where you just trade houses with some randos in the middle of like rural Utah.
You know what's funny? That's a thing now. Like I feel
It's
like
true.
that's like an option
Apartment swapping
on
and
like
stuff,
Airbnb or whatever. Like you can swap apartments with somebody for a while.
I mean, I've heard of like exchange students and stuff like that, but I've never heard of people like swapping entire houses.
Yeah. I'd never heard of it until like the last few years, but I think it's a thing now.
He's
so
ahead
maybe
of his
Troll
time.
2 ahead of its time. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So they're what's the name of this family they're switching with?
Oh.
Do you remember? I
Ooh.
really appreciated their name. It was like the President family or the People family.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I wish I knew here.
I'll-
Yes, the presence.
The Presents family. Yeah. Yeah. Mr. Presents and Mrs. Presents and their 2 kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, so they get
boy.
on the road to apartment switch with the Presents family, and what happens when they get to Nilbog? I'm asking you. Yeah.
So yeah, they meet the family to trade houses with, and the Presence family are acting a little bit suspicious, and then the father, Michael is like just being friendly, being like, okay, great, we're gonna have a great time here at your place. Please enjoy our house. We got all like the modern amenities, and they're not even giving him the time of day. They're just grabbing their bags and just leaving, and he's kind of like curious why they're being so strange. But
They
he doesn't
also
think much of
have
it.
scars of 4-leaf clovers on them, each one of them.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right. And then
Burn
the boy.
marks.
And doesn't the boy throws a baseball to Joshua that has some like "I'll eat you later" or something?
Right.
No,
yeah.
that's later. Come on. That happens
That's
now?
later?
I
Yeah,
thought
I
that's
think he
just in
throws
the
him
epilogue.
something. There is another baseball later. No, that's later. But
Oh.
at first, he does throw him a baseball.
I might
Yeah.
have been writing something down and missed that.
Yeah,
Okay.
There's a lot of layers to this, man.
there are.
It's true. So they head in and listen. Typical country hospitality, as the mom says. They left them like a 4-course meal of green stuff.
We're talking corn on the cob with green stuff. Green juices. Green milk.
I found that very interesting. I took note because what happens is the family sits down to eat. The ghost grandpa stops time to tell the son that he's got to stop them from eating this food. So he pees on all the food, and that works. Now, but in the stop time, we see what food they're immediately grabbing for, which I found very interesting. Because there's some food on the table that's like meat and burger. I mean, not meat, obviously, because the gremlins are vegetarians. I mean, the goblins. Whatever. Who cares?
Hey, there's no intellectual rights here. Go ahead.
So they, I noticed the daughter reached for corn. Now it's corn covered in like green frosting. I thought that was a weird thing to go for first.
Yeah.
All right. Now the dad, more understandable. He grabbed the green beverage. Now that's got to be one of 2 things. Obviously, either it's some weird alcohol he's never heard of, which great, or it's a Ecto Cooler.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. And I love Ecto Cooler.
So yeah, and then speaking of this like little, you know how like in time travel or like whenever they stop time or like someone's going really fast, like in the real life, like it would have like literally happened within a second.
Yeah.
So this family is about to eat something, and within a split second, their son is just on the table pissing on them.
Also, they're already holding the food to their mouths. So in order to contaminate that food, he had to start by pissing directly at their faces. In a hip swivel.
I had completely forgot that that's what happened in that scene, and it was rather shocking.
It's amazing.
I mean, I don't. What was I?
But it worked. Did it not work?
I suppose it did. If not cinematically, it did for Claudio's script. Yes.
Yeah. They're also moving a lot when the time is supposed to be stopped.
Yeah. Well, maybe it didn't stop. It just slowed it down.
Oh, that's very possible. Yeah, it could have been like, what's that movie? where he slows down time. You know what I'm talking about? Clock stoppers.
Yeah.
All right.
Stoppers. Yeah.
Yeah, clock
and then
stoppers.
that brings us to the dad's like famous monologue where he's like telling him like bringing him to his room and just like tell him you can't piss on hospitality. I won't allow it.
That's
and
the line he
the
repeats 1,000 times in the documentary to anyone who will listen.
And I love the part where like he throws his son down. The kid's like, "What are you gonna do to me, Dad?" And then he's like, "You think he's gonna take off his belt to hit
I thought he
him,
was
but-"
taking off his pants.
Well, the way he reacts, like, no, it's tightening his belt loop because of his hunger pains.
Yeah, he says, when I was your age, I really did suffer from hunger. And I'm like, I need some backstory on this dad.
Yeah. Where's the bio on
What
Dad?
the fuck was that? He was in the Swiss Family Robinson?
I'm tightening my belt buckle so I don't suffer from hunger pains. Very strange.
I didn't think that was a thing, but I gotta try that next time I'm suffering from hunger pains.
Sure. Just drink a lot of water.
Yeah.
You know, I've learned that from anorexics.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, gang.
Where to now, Dan? Where do you want to go with
Well,
this?
how about that one? So the boyfriend comes in a camper with his pals, and they're trying to like fuck the fine young women of Nilbog.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, one of them heads off into town to try and find some food.
Mm-hmm.
What happens to this kid?
Well, the one kid goes into the forest, right, first, because he hears a girl screaming or some shit.
Oh yeah, and
It's
it's like
legit-
it's like a hotsy-totsy girl, and they run into a house together, and there's a witch. We should probably talk about this fucking Medusa, who's like
Oh, yeah.
a 40-year-old actress dressed up to look like 90. And,
Credence Lenore Gielgud.
why wasn't she in the documentary?
I don't know. She probably
She's
like
my MVP.
she probably heard like they're making a documentary, and she's like, "Fuck this."
I'll tell you what. She's my MVP, and so when I was doing my superhero count, I was interested, in a couple of the backstories. She is very active on Twitter supporting environmental causes and proudly wears the mantle of that troll queen.
That's right.
And wishes people like Happy New Year's, my minions, and all that kind of shit. Yeah, Deborah Reed.
Why wasn't she in the documentary?
I think maybe
don't
she
know.
was just for like a second, because I looked her up for a reason. She lives in Utah. She directed a short film that's like an environmental documentary, and apparently has a makeup artist credit on Dumb and Dumber, which filmed in Utah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What happened with Utah? A couple of these actors went there, just never were able to leave.
Well,
they got trapped in Utah.
the dentist moved, right? Because in the documentary, he's living in like Alabama or something.
Oh, so he upgraded.
Yeah.
But the witch and the mother, they just went there and
Yeah, they just stayed. They're
Something about Provo.
Utahns. Maybe they're Mormon.
There you go.
They
Compounds.
gotta be near the Holy Land. Brigham Young.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So the witch.
Yeah, she's pretty dynamite. She turns him into a tree and kills the girl. The goblins feast on her. And then she seduces this other kid with a corn on the cob. That sounds crazy, but it's true.
It's a great
Yeah,
scene.
it's true.
And that I have to say, obviously the movie's full of chuckles, but that one, when she does that and then the popcorn starts popping, I did lose my shit.
Henry, if a really sexy lady tried to make out with you by doing the Lady and the Tramp thing with a corn on the cob, could you get turned on?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Because by this
problem.
point, she also de-ages, remember?
That's right.
Oh,
She
yes.
like turns into a sexier, younger version of the witch, and
That's right.
she drowns this kid in popcorn.
And she transforms through the power of Stonehenge.
Right. There's some Stonehenge talking. I never understand. Anytime a fucking movie brings up druids, my eyes glaze over.
Didn't Halloween have like some druid stuff?
We talked about this quite a bit with the Order of the Thorn or whatever. Not the third one. Oh no, you're right. The third one has Stonehenge shit.
It's in the third one.
But then in the second one, Michael Myers is said to be a druid.
Right. That's right.
And that sticks around in like 5 and 6.
That's like a catch-all thing for anything mysterious. Is like
Stonehenge.
Stonehenge.
Yes, Stonehenge. That would not be fucking do Stonehenge.
Yeah. Thank you, Aaron, for getting the Spinal Tap reference.
I got the reference.
Oh, you just didn't laugh.
Aaron had it for the both of us. I'm smiling.
I appreciate that.
Hey, we're all in this together, gents. It's cool.
All right.
No, I can never think of Stonehenge and not think of Spinal Tap.
Yeah.
It's not possible. Yeah.
Okay.
The other kid goes to a grocery store and is met by a clerk.
Well, he's first driven there by a police officer who gets him to eat he gives him a sandwich wrapped in saran wrap, and it has green filling. He does not ask what kind of sandwich it is. He just chomps down.
They're all very hungry in this film.
Did you catch the sheriff's name?
No.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
My name is like, nice to meet you. My name's Sheriff Gene Freak. American name.
Gene Freak. That's like a slur for mutants in the X-Men universe.
Shoot, should I not be saying that?
No.
Gene, it's a little bit. Yeah, dude, watch it. Yeah.
I know.
So then when he gets dropped off by Sheriff Freak, he goes into the market. And did you read about the actor playing this?
Well,
clerk?
this is in that info is taken from the documentary.
Okay.
He's a pretty fascinating character.
He's my MVP.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, he was on leave for one day from a local mental hospital when he filmed this. And he smoked weed before filming the scene just so he could get through the day, and he doesn't really remember filming. And he sort of forgot about the movie until 20 years later. He was invited to a screening that weirdly UCB regular John Gemberling was doing in New York, and he sat in the audience. He wouldn't even come on stage until they convinced him.
Yeah.
But that was a really touching moment.
That
when they finally
was
got
really
up there,
touching.
He
said it was the best night of his life.
Aw.
Oh,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it.
There were parts that those are the parts of the documentary that I was I felt like it wasn't necessarily exploitative. It seemed like they were trying to be see, it was these are the better parts of him. Where like I said with the mom, I think it definitely leaned heavily into.
I didn't feel the documentary was overly exploitative. That was honestly the one part that I really felt that way. And maybe a couple of the things with Claudio.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. It could have been way worse, man. They interviewed a lot of dwarfs for that documentary. And, they treated them pretty well. All right. So he's talking to this store clerk. Do you remember any of the dialogue from that scene?
Oh, man. Not really. I mean, the kid is already starting to bleed green.
He's asking if they have any bacon or something. He's oh, or no, any milk first? He's oh no, that's the devil's drink. He's
Coffee.
Coffee's
coffee's the devil's drink. Yeah.
Right.
And then any meat and stuff like that. He's talking about everyone in town are vegetarians, and okay.
That's interesting. Here I have it. Okay.
Okay.
Coffee. There's no coffee in Nilbog. It's the devil's drink. He says eggs. The drugstore guy goes blah. He just freaks out at the talk of eggs. Bacon. Are you crazy, boy? We're vegetarians here in Nilbog. Didn't you know that? Here's some Nilbog milk. Special milk. High in vitamin content. Here, it's free. Free? Of course it's free. We love tourists here in Nilbog. Try some, boy, and have some of your friends drink some also. And that's the whole scene, and he's my MVP. And so he tries the milk, but it's pretty thick. And it is unrefrigerated. I don't know why he's drinking this unrefrigerated milk.
Very true.
Nilbog milk or not, what could be in it?
At least give it a smell test first. Like this guy just goes.
Or look into it. Usually when there's lumps in milk, you can see them.
Look, man, he might have done the same thing the dad did and tightened his belt buckle to stave off the hunger pains, and he just didn't give a shit. So anything to do it. You know?
All right. So that kid ends up in trying to save his friend, who's like turned into a tree.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, the kid finds himself at a church, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Aaron, what happens at that church?
He I think he's skateboarding. Was this? Yeah, I think this is.
That's right.
The whole series of events I think starts where they're just hanging. The dad and the boy are just hanging out in the town, and the dad's like, "We just gotta." He's just reading a book on vegetables.
Yeah.
And this is where the kid has the realization when he sees it in like a side view mirror of a car that Nilbog is actually goblin spells backwards.
Mm-hmm.
And he decides to go skateboard. So he skateboards and finds this church and then makes his way up into the rafters of this church. And the whole town, including the Presence family.
That's right. They never left. There are only 26 people in the town, by the way.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, and then the preacher is basically doing a whole spiel about how like eating meat is evil. And
Yeah, he's Will Wheaton crossed with ravishing Rick Rude.
yes, exactly. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of a wrestler, and I was almost going to say Hacksaw Jim Duggan, but that's way better.
He's too big.
Yeah, way better. Yeah.
And then I think he probably reveals something about how he's gonna like get the family and all this stuff. And then the kid's skateboard slips away from him, and then the kid who's like looking down through the rafters all of a sudden gets a face full of hand.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Big time.
And they're going to give him some lumpy ice cream.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. They're gonna force him to eat ice cream, and then the dad comes and to save him, and he's a little bit weirded out by it.
Only a little bit, though.
But then they go back to the Presence house where they're staying, and the whole town is there, and they're throwing a party for them.
Right.
Lots of new green food.
Yes, and the mom and dad are like suddenly like, yeah, nothing weird about what happened earlier.
Yeah.
No.
But
everybody's softened a little bit.
So the dead grandpa shows up to try and help the kid. I guess like it's too much. The pee technique is not going to work a second time. And so the grandpa appears and what does he do? He like makes the kid set one of the priest on fire.
I think.
Well, first, like out of randomly no. What happens is.
Get this straight.
The boy tries to contact Grandpa through the mirror, and instead a goblin jumps out because, like, apparently this is like a hotbed, like a vortex for goblins. It's like the Goblin Kingdom, and so a goblin like inexplicably jumps out of this mirror, and then like he wrestles around with Joshua for a little bit, and then they fall downstairs into the party. And at that point, they realize, oh, goblins are for real,
right?
And then
doesn't he cut her hand off though? Cuts the hand off the goblin in that fight, and it turns out that particular goblin is the witch.
Credence, yeah.
Credence.
And then at that point, the family locks themselves inside the house, and then like
the priest tries to banish the grandfather back to hell, which I guess is where he came from, and. And then they set the priest on fire, and it turns out under all the fire extinguisher gunk, he's a goblin.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's a great scene where a grandpa is giving a kid his grandson a Molotov cocktail.
Yes.
Here you go, boy. You'll know what to do.
You know what technique I found really works in this movie? Backing away slowly.
Yes. It saves them every time.
Yeah. Anytime they're like confronted by every goblin in the entire town, whether dressed as human folk or goblins, they just back away slowly, and they're kind of able to get away.
You're very correct. It's like bears or something. You're right, because in the sequence where in the beginning in the story with Speedy, he's running through the forest and it doesn't work for him. And the sequence where the nerd with the glasses is running away, it doesn't work for him or the girl. So you're right. Some slow backing off, and you're good. Yeah.
But ultimately, nothing works quite like a double-decker bologna sandwich.
That's right. So yeah, long story short, they go back to Stonehenge. Question mark. And then they all use the power of a double-decker bologna sandwich.
And the power of goodness.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Concentrate real hard.
Or focus or concentrate. Concentrate harder.
Yeah.
Right.
And it was when he's eating the bologna sandwich, the witch is like, think of your cholesterol.
Does that tie into Claudio's wife?
Yeah, she hates vegetarians, and so she decided to write this movie as an anti-vegetarian screed.
Right. Screed. Oh wow!
And I mean, what more to say, Dan?
Well, they get away, and the girl goes to hang out with her boyfriend. The dad goes to the office for some reason, and the mom and the kid are back at home for a nice little epilogue. The mom goes to take a shower. I thought we were going to get a mom shower scene in the last 2 minutes of this movie.
Yeah, so did I. Weird.
But they take some apples out of the refrigerator, and the mom chomps down on one of these apples, and they're spiked. They're spiked with goblin.
With goblin. Yeah.
And she dies, and it's a big Twilight Zone ending. No, the fucking goblins are still
freeze
around.
frame.
Yeah.
A surprisingly dark ending for like an otherwise kind of silly movie.
Yeah, and Claudio seems to think this movie is very hopeful, but it's an odd ending. This is the kind of ending you make, though, when like you have no other endings. It's like the end of I Know What You Did Last Summer, where like, remember when she's just like in the shower and like the fucking fisherman like jumps through the fucking thing. Oh yeah,
we got to do that.
Horror movies love those endings. Yeah, we'll do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So I did understand that you had some contact information, Aaron. You were able somehow, I don't know, through VHS hits or something, you actually were able to contact Claudio Fragasso and get him on our show or something like that?
He contacted me through it, and I hold on. Let me see
if I can get him. I don't know.
Let me see if I can get a hold of. I'll be right back, guys. Hold on 1 second.
All right, no problem.
Let me check my phone here.
You were
pretty good.
What were you complaining about? That he fucking piped up? Like he just listens to excuse me.
Oh, sorry.
Hold on. Let me pipe it through. Hey, Dan, pipe this through.
Okay. Hey, Claudio, is that you?
Hello. Who is this?
This is Daniel Ehrenberg. I'm your host with the most here on the franchise. Episode number 116.
Oh,
hey, Claudio, how are you, man? It's Henry, co-host of the franchise. Welcome.
Thank you. I heard you're doing show. My daughter, my granddaughter, Isabella, first told me about your show. She says she loved it. She says it's Grandpa and Jew. They talk about lists and curse at each other. It's real fun. I don't know. I don't understand her.
Grandpa and Jew?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. It's a podcast. You can listen to it on your iPod.
I don't know what that is.
No.
Oh, you should. You love it. You should try it. You should try it. Well, we're talking about your movie Troll 2.
We're saying very nice things about your film.
Yeah.
Troll 2.
Well, yeah, it is a masterpiece. It is one of the most famous films in Roma.
I agree.
Oh, is it really?
It is truly a masterpiece. I love every moment of this movie. One huge question, Claudio.
Yes.
It's called Troll 2. I understand what you were going for there. It's piggybacking the first Troll from the 80s. Now,
yes.
There aren't any trolls in this movie. What was the thinking behind the title?
He brings a good point.
What do you mean?
The movie's called Troll 2. All the creatures in the movie are goblins, as illustrated by the Nilbog spelling.
Right.
What the fuck are you talking about? They're trolls. They're goblins. Same shit. What do you want?
No, it's not the same shit.
It's really not the same shit, man. I mean, what you called the movie?
What
Troll,
is a
but the
troll?
word-
What you think? What do you think a troll is? It's a little monster running, chasing people around.
As
The
far as
trolls
I
think-
know, in 1990, trolls, their belly buttons are bejeweled, and they have multicolored hair.
Listen, you brought me on this show,
No,
and now
you
you
called.
insulted
actually.
me.
No, we don't mean to insult you, Claudio. We just a simple question about the title, and then never referring to it again in the.
They're trolls. They're goblins. Same as shit.
All right.
You maybe your mind it is not have in a brain has the dog shit. It cannot decipher troll and goblin. It's
Jesus,
same
all right.
thing. You don't understand.
Is it
my work.
possible that there's something being lost in the translation here as an Italian man?
Right, exactly, right.
But I write a perfect American script.
Did the actors
you don't
understand
know-
most of your directions, or?
No, these actors, they are dogs. They do not know they do not know American. No, not like Claudio know America. I know America.
I see what you're saying. So it was the actors' fault that some of the lines may not have
These
been
actors,
quite-
they are no good. They tell me that they actors, they be acting for a while. They no act. They no actor.
So, did you not appreciate the documentary that was made about your movie? No, I guess you didn't.
I like going to the festival. They love me. They understand the film. They know the importance. They understand the intricacies of the importance of the struggles of life
That's
and
right.
the death and family values and how vegetarians are fucking evil.
The actress who played the mom compared it very favorably to Casablanca in that documentary. Did you like that?
In my humble opinion, much better than Casablanca.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. I can see
Despite
that.
the bad actors, right?
Right.
Yeah, a good movie script it elevates terrible actors. You could have bad actors and still the most beautiful film.
Sure.
This is often true. Yeah, it's often true.
Now,
Oh.
while we have you, Claudio, is there
Yes, yes.
any way I can get you to join me in on a round of row, row, row your boat?
Come on, Claudio. It'd be great.
I'll start. Row,
Okay.
row, row your boat gently down the stream.
row your boat.
Merrily, 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 life is but a dream.
Row your boat.
Row, row,
gently
row
down
your
the
boat
stream.
gently
Yeah,
down the
Merrily,
stream.
merrily,
Merrily.
Is this all you guys do on this show? Just sit around, sing songs.
Pretty much.
You know what?
It's not much more to it than that.
It was my mistake coming on this show.
No, we appreciate having
You guys
you, man.
brought me on here to laugh, and you don't know nothing. I'm a big famous director, most famous in all of Roma, all of Italy, perhaps all of Europe.
There's
One-
Fellini and you.
One more question.
Who?
Yeah. We at the end of that documentary, it said you were working on a screenplay for Troll 3 or Troll 2 Part 2. Is there
Yes.
any truth to that?
I make the script. It is so nice, so beautiful that I don't know if anyone's worthy of seeing this film. It is easily my best work.
Is it Bellissima?
Molto bene.
Yeah.
I don't believe that anyone will understand. It's too above your brain. it perhaps will never be released.
Well, we want you to release it. We hope that you get to work on it for real.
Yeah. Agreed.
If I decide that you are worthy, I release the film and then I come back on the show and we talk some more.
I like that. I like that. And thank you to your daughter for subscribing to our show. And tell her to write a 5-star review for fuck's sake. Yeah. Vafangula.
Vafangula. Arrivederci.
All right. Arrivederci.
Ciao.
God, was that bizarre?
Aaron, you there?
Aaron, back?
Oh, hey guys, sorry.
Hey, dude, what happened? I thought you were gonna join in on that.
I was gonna go. No, I was. I missed that whole last part. I had to go to the bathroom.
Oh man,
what did I miss?
Well, you know Troll 3.
Yes.
He says he wrote the script.
He did. He did.
Actually, funny thing that you should mention Troll 3. Do you guys know that there are actually 2 Troll 3s?
Yes, I did know that.
I knew it because of you.
Shitty movies that have piggybacked.
You guys need the rundown?
Yeah, please.
Okay, so there's 2 Troll. So Joe D'Amato took the reins for basically repurposing 2 of his films.
Is that the guy that directed The Purge, Henry? Okay.
Good joke.
And so one of the Troll 3s is actually AKA Ator 3, the Hobgoblin, which is actually, or AKA Quest for the Mighty Sword.
Now, I've seen Ator the Flying Eagle, Aaron, because you bought it for me on DVD for my birthday one year.
And Ator is actually like a Conan knockoff.
Yeah.
So this is like another series of knockoffs on top of knockoffs. And let's see here. And so the basic story of that is like the only connections between this and Troll 2 is they reuse one of the costumes for the trolls in this Sword and Sorcery movie, and it's starring Eric Allen Kramer, as the titular Ator, and Ator's son, also Ator.
Love it.
The dad dies. Son gets basically adopted by this troll and raised by him, and troll's also fucking his mom. Bunch of craziness going
I'm sold.
on.
Cool.
Long story short, like he gets his revenge on the troll and chops him in half with a sword. So
nice.
Yada yada yada. A very bad movie, but not even so bad it's good. I would put that in the skip file.
Okay.
So the other Troll 3, a.k.a. Crawlers, a.k.a. Creepers, a.k.a. Contamination Point 7, has absolutely nothing to do with trolls, goblins, nymphs, or anything. It has to do with killer vines.
Ooh. Well, there are some killer vines in that first Troll movie.
I guess that's true. So that's the loose...
Killer Vines. That sounds like a movie, sort of like The Ring, like a modern day movie. Like if you watch.
Well, they made Ben Stiller. Ben Stiller directed that movie, The Ruins, and that's about killer vines.
Ben Stiller directed that.
Uh-huh.
What are you talking about?
Look it up.
Really?
You're out of your fucking mind. It's a horror movie called The Ruins.
Uh-huh.
I remember when it came out.
I saw it.
Here it is. It's directed by a fellow named Carter Smith.
Exactly.
Where'd you get Ben Stiller from?
He's an executive producer.
There you go.
Okay, that makes sense. Oh, yeah, that's the other tie. So Joe D'Amato was the producer on Troll 2, so that's how he kind of finagled the rights to Troll 3. But yeah, he decided to release it as 2 of his own films.
I love it.
Huh. Ator.
Ator, the Flying Eagle. All right. We got to wrap this up. What do you give Troll 2?
I have to give Troll 2 a 5.
A 5, yeah.
It's an experience, people. Like it's like I can't like we're joking around and like if at this point it's already had a bunch of spoilers, but it's just a movie you have to just see and let it like wash over you.
The spoilers mean nothing. It's amazing to live in this movie for an hour and 30 minutes. I'm gonna give it a 4. And it's funny because if I'm ranking these movies as movies, they rank
Right.
Troll 2. But
Right.
if I'm ranking these movies as works of art, it's Troll 2 Troll.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this was a tough one for me. I mean, it's a 1-star movie, obviously, but it's also a 5-star movie. So depending on which angle you come at the movie from, for me as a viewer, as not a big fan of very bad, so bad they're good movies, I'm going with a 3.
Okay.
Because I'll probably never watch it again, but I don't know that that's really true. I might.
I'll watch it
So-
again a bunch.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 3. My MVP is The Witch.
Mm-hmm.
LVP, probably the wife.
Okay.
Yeah, she's got to be my LVP too.
Yeah, I think that goes across the board.
Yeah, and MVP is the drugstore owner.
I'm gonna go with Robert Ormsby, Grandpa Seth.
He's really
Oh,
good.
there you
He's
go.
really good, and he's very charming in that documentary.
Very charming in the documentary, and he seems like out of like all the actors, he's the one who kind of like feels like he's acting the best. Like, it's,
I know what you
what
mean.
it's
I know
worth,
what you mean.
he's the guy who like gives like a genuine performance, where the other people, like at some point in time, you could see them just getting tired. Like some of like the later scenes that you could tell that they shot later into production, they're just like, you could tell they're slogging it. It was probably like their 50th or 60th take of the day, and they're just like, there's some lines that's just like, I don't know, we gotta just go over here, and you could just tell they're losing it. But Grandpa Seth, he was solid throughout the whole movie.
Yeah, he's all in. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Epic coverage.
Sure.
Yeah,
All right. Hey,
for an epic movie.
let's run through these pretty quick. We're like, this is their longest episode ever.
I don't have any I have no superhero.
Great,
count.
great.